the bed, yelling that he was the one that we had to eliminate, even though he was playing liberal. He was playing liberal. He was saying he was going to be eliminated. Like, dude, we're on the same side. You don't need to cause chaos when you're not the actual other side. Like, what are you doing, Tino?
Some people
This
just
guy's
want to
a
see the
crazy
world
guy.
burn, John.
Oh,
People just want to see the world burn. They don't care to win or lose, you know.
it was amazing to watch Bob like trying to make like almost like legal arguments. It was amazing considering Bob. Like, it's just beautiful. They were all forced to speak English. It was such a good time. Like, God, I missed that.
Sad I missed out on it, Jonathan. What can you
Yeah, I
do?
invited you. You know, I told you to come down.
I was having some beers, Jonathan. I was busy. Business was happening. CML is going to lead the pack here with Shanks and Krish right behind him. For perhaps a disposed target. They're actually going to find one in the Magnus, and the stuns are out as well, but Jabs is going to be able to turn around now with his team. Three-man Nether Blast is going to come out from Ollie, and CML is the one to go down as Ollie does secure. Shanks is looking to be next as they are dropping very low. That'll be another. Tino, though, is getting so much damage on the Timbersaw with his Whirling Deaths, but can he get some more kills? The answer is no. It's a 4-5v5 engagement, and 4 heroes already gone. 4 heroes in Execration are just dead. Ollie with a triple kill on the Pugner. They want more. They want more. They want Krish's life. Krish, I think, might be regretting coming back to the Philippines, John.
Welcome to the Philippines, Krish. This is what our teams do. Welcome back. It's an amazing display out. Execration really forcing that one out, going for that dispose and LSA that we were talking about for the potential level 1, but not respecting the presence of Ollie. Nether blasting away, landing the multiples over and over again. Tino was too far behind. If Tino was up there spamming Whirling Death as much as Ollie was spamming out Nether Blast, that fight would have ended in a very different note. Still, Aurora find a good 1.7k gold swing their way early on. And that sets a good tone for this team to stay in the running in these qualifiers.
Yeah, I mean, just the dumbest thing is it all pretty much went to the Pugner. But, you know, it's kind of those things. Sometimes as a +5 player, John, you take what you can get. I'm sure Ollie's going to be very happy to start the laning stage off with brown boots on the way. And, well, there you go. The Pugner's just got so much regen now. He's got the add movement speed available. Probably going to have a very quick arcane boots for himself. You know, it's happy days for Ollie. This is the kind of start every +5 deserves.
Yeah. That's a start you dream of on your +5. And he has a pretty nice lane for himself here as well. Although we'll have to watch the early trades with Shanks. He will be able to jump in and try to punish. Again, that early level and time dilation can open up opportunities to be aggressive on that Faceless Void. But Tino is controlling the lane rather well. Again, in terms of CS, Tino is not going to be shoved out all too easily. He does opt for the value point and reactive just to sustain in the lane. So we're not going to be seeing any Whirling Death attempts along with the Timber Chain anytime soon on the squishy Pugna. But they want to get as much as possible. They want to make this uncomfy for Savage. Still, Ollie is just free twacking away.
Certainly is. We'll have a look at the other side lane. Of course, top lane, CML and Krish going at it against Jabs and Q. For now, very, very even affair between these two. Not too much to write home about. See, a lot of kill potential between both sides, especially as the levels do come up. So I expect a lot of action from this top lane eventually, but maybe at the level 2, level 3 mark.
Yeah, certainly. Level 3 is probably the golden point for both sides to look for that aggression. The issue for Execration and trying to be aggressive up front here is that you have one really good save on Q with the lift back, and you always have the skewer back on Jabs to turn that jump from CML into a disadvantage for the side of Execration. So how aggressive Execration will want to get really depends. I think any spell used for Marcy here is going to be a little bit risky to take. And that should lead to maybe a bit more passiveness coming out from Execration, as they do get that skewer back.
They do. CML taking a bit of damage on the way out as well. May still go down a Q. One more hit will do it, but he cannot reach. This little light strike away from Krish to ensure that CML does make his way out of there. Pretty rough though. I mean, it just, you see the lift into the skewer back, and you're almost as good as dead if you do take it.
Yeah. And that should lead to, again, that caution that Execration has to have in this lane. And Jabs as well going for the 2 points in the skewer. So is looking for just that aggression, just that easy layup with the setup on the telekinesis. As long as Krish finds farm, I think you're still pretty happy with this lane. Taking a look at that midon. Bob up against Armel, and this is a lane matchup that we haven't seen in a while, but is very TA favored. No way to burn through Refraction. Lots of good right clicks that can be spammed out with the side blades. Puck has to be relatively close enough to get hit with the side blades. So comfy time for Armel and a rougher ride for Bob. And considering how his side lanes are going, I'm not entirely sure if he can expect too much relief from his supports in terms of an early rotation to stop Armel from popping off here.
Timings not there. Ollie try and intervene and take one off Bob, but Bob does manage to take one away. Shank's trying to mana drain Ollie. We're gonna have the battle of the suck later on, I'm sure, between these two.
The beautiful symphony of suck.
Not for now,
I love it. Oh, down the line as well. I mean, Q, if he gets mana drain, that's 3 sucks.
Dabs is actually gonna skewer off here onto the Lena, but instead does find onto CML. Drags him back towards the Lotus Pool of all things. CML still alive for now, though Japs will be able to reach him. I'm not sure how, because that could look kind of far, but gets him eventually.
That works out. Gets a little bit of that damage. True, and 5-1 start for Aurora. Smooth sailing so far from the laning phase for the Radiant side. Execration. Those sets of kills really hurt them, especially in the bot. You know, that early movement speed for Ollie, allowing him to freely orb hit Tino without any counteraction from Shanks. The Lion not able to stave off the Pugna too much. And having this space out for Savage to farm. The mid lane matchup for Bob not going smoothly. Again, like into the TA, it just doesn't feel great for the puck to kind of hold there. And with your side lanes in this array, no support onto the mid. There's not much you can do as Exa. Just minimize these losses onto the supports, try to find farm in these cores. This Lena has to hit that early point where she can start to burst. Once you have 6, maybe Phase Boots plus Maelstrom, or even just Phase Boots plus Javelin, this Lena can start to play a little bit more, but probably not looking to commit anytime soon.
Bob and Armel have been going at it in the mid lane. Armel having an extremely good time on the TA. Kind of the thing with Armel, like this is one of his signature heroes that we've seen him play over and over again, and he does usually perform quite effectively when it comes to the TA. I'm sure it does scare Execration to have to go up against this hero of all things. You're not going to be solely relying on 23 Savage carrying the game for you either. You are going to have the TA that can just carry you through as well. Savage getting very low, speaking of the devil. Tina having his way with him here on the Timber Sword, but has no points in chain, so can't really chase down the Void so much. But is more than happy just farming the lane as the Timber, which I think is perfectly fine.
Yeah, I don't think you're lacking for burst damage as well for Tino. He understands he's got Lena and a Lion. There's a lot of burst to come out once the level 6s are lined up, so there's not as much pressure to just go for like the 2-2-1 build. He needs to be able to sustain. You've seen the harassment coming out from Ollie. It has been consistent onto the Timber Saw. And again, there's not much you can really do here for Shanks. He's just going to reach out for his Wisdom Rune, try to get that done. CML trying to scout out, does spot the stacks. He does have a sentry ready if he wants, but in a little bit of a dangerous spot.
Yeah, CML. Experience this the hard way. Trying for a deny attempt, but CML still going to get caught out by Jabs. Have that level 1 shockwave ready whenever. Of course, you are very well aware now that the stacks are there, but it's a matter of whether you can actually contest them. I believe you are going to need Jabs, or rather Tino, to rotate on the Timber Saw if you want to have a chance at that. Chances are Savage. Bit of danger. Like he's running right towards Shanks, trying to go for the kill attempt. He still has the Time Walk available and will use it.
Radiant's middle tower
Very confident here from the Void to just run at the Lion like that. Definitely doesn't want to do it anymore because now CML's joined the fray. It seems the CML maybe going to have to leave the area as it seems that they have spotted him now.
Bit of rougher to try to get that jump. And you've got the level 3 Time Walk ready on Savage. He's got a lot of saving on himself. Harder target to pin down. Bob
should be okay with the orb. Does orb towards the south and does manage to pick himself up an Arcane Rune. Eventually, that is. CML gonna land a nice double stun off, but Bob is just gonna get annihilated by Armel. The side blades into the double kill. And now, well, that's a triple. That is a triple kill coming out for the TA. Armel That's the kind of start you look for when you're playing the TA, and he's going to be very happy with that.
9-1 start for Aurora. Bouncing back hard after that loss to Neon, probably getting extra motivated after that loss as well. Are just really sticking it to Execration. Tino?
Tino's going to be careful. Q now has that Whirling Death himself, and it just does so much damage against Tino, who has no points in chain available, don't forget. Bob is going to be around to save the day, but Q is still going to be able to casually walk out of that Dream Coil, and we'll be alright. Tino, had he not had the rotation out from Bob, he may have actually just died. He had no chains.
Yeah, I think he was just set to die. He's just had a rough lane. There was just so much harassment coming in from Ollie. He was just using that early move speed with boots of speed really well to force Tino into just a reactive build. I think Tino maybe also just course correcting after seeing the early level of time dilation, doesn't want to spam out his spells too much, knowing that there is some ways of preventing him from getting easy access into those chains out, into the constant whirling death. Still, it's holding back that aggression that the Timbersaw needs to open up. Like, this bot lane is not a lane that he can easily just shove in. He will go for the creep cuts at the very least, and the farming pace is still somewhat there for Tino. So, he is still set to build in quite nicely for his timings. You've also freed up top lane for Krish with all of this action elsewhere. So the Lina is also allowed to farm. Has that Falcon Blade into the Maelstrom lined up. And not too far off that Maelstrom timing now as well. So despite a rockier landing start, you are finding some source of farm coming in. The real thing hurting is mid, as Tino's getting jumped.
Yeah, he certainly is. Chrono committed. Q's got the chakram to play with, and Tino just gets absolutely annihilated down at the bottom lane. Meanwhile, topside, Aurora looking for that +1. Krish has found him with the RP committal into the skewer. Krish is as good as dead. Armel will take his 4th kill of the game. Now, even the mid-tier 1 tower is going to be defended because Q just TPs immediately. He's got that level 1 chakram plus the Fade Bolt. There is no chance you're pushing into this tier 1.
No. It's just going to hold. Only the siege creep left. And Bob not going to feel too comfy copping too many tower hits to allow that siege creep to really get work done. And they have room to just pressure in top as well. Tino forced to respond to free up that top lane. Smoke out from Execration. And you see Jabs.
You do, Jabs. Let's get caught. Get the follow-up stun here from CML, though Jabs is still alive, even requiring Bob to move in to secure the kill. It's a little bit concerning, like it costs you 4 heroes to find that mag kill. Sure, you get it in the end, but that is a worrying sign if you are Execration.
It certainly is. Lots of room down mid off the back of that movement as well to just get the shove in. But Armel, HP already down to less than half. Not going to be long for the world with Ollie sticking around here. And they don't even have the level 6s up in the support. That's the one thing that really hurts Exe. And compared to Q and Ollie, just not even having Finger makes these fights painful.
Go again. Dream Pearl is onto 3. Bob. Now he's trying to get some damage off onto Ollie. The CML jumping in as well, but look at the damage from Armel. It's a 1-for-1 for now at the very least. In fact, Aurora may have gone a bit too far. They will pay once again with Q going down. However, even Armel into the chakram of Tino. Definitely looking pretty dead. As the Finger does come out, they will secure. The Execration finally able to get a team fight their way as they'll find a 3-for-1. And that was really off the back of Aurora just overextending, but still, you've got to be very happy if you are Execration.
They finally find something going their way. Level 6 timing for Shanks feeding off of that kill was really important to secure the follow-up. And I like that read from Krish. You know, as a Lina carry, you do need some activity on the board. You've got this early timing, early tempo that this hero can provide. Just shows up with the Laguna and helps to blow one up. They find the punishment they need. For Aurora, though, it's a lot of space.
Not Bob. The time dilation's making it very hard for Bob to get away, but he actually just jukes them. He completely jukes them, running back into Savage, but has the invis rune now. That was an RP committed for that attempt, by the way, John. Just does not work out for him.
It's a slippery target. That's the one thing with Puck this game. You've got to commit either 1 ult, 2 ults, or you're probably not catching him unless Q has something like that Hex. And that also provides room now for Execration to find some space down bot to get a little bit of the map under their control, finding that tier 1. Still, Aurora are not dissuaded. Not having RP is not really a major concern for Jabs. keeping that top lane shoved in. They've got the vision game lined up here as well to spot where the side of Execration might farm. The 2k lead from Aurora holding steady. Execration are, at the very least, finding ways to leave it at 2k, so they're keeping up in the same farm rate at the least. That is some bits of positive news. Tino has got the full veil up, so the magic amp is ready to go. And you are inching towards this blink timing for Bob. This blink timing is pivotal for the puck. He's got to be able to set up these plays for the team. He's the main jumper in to follow through from Tino, or to have Tino follow through from his movement forward first. Let's see if they manage to find that. The traps are suppressive, though. So oppressive, I mean. It just makes it hard to even contest for the runes. Always there in the control of Armelt. Finds an amplified damage. Triangle still secure. Stacks were cleared up earlier as well. Aurora are just... they're in a solid position, and Execration, they have to play around this burst. Like, they've got Finger back up, they've got Laguna ready. It does feel like Execration has to be the ones that tries to smoke and tries to actually hunt for their pause one.
Good try now, Aurora. They're at least smoked up as two. Bring Armel with them by the looks of it.
Radiant are scanning.
South they go, though. CML actually going to break the smoke on the Marcy, so CML's going to be the target. Not really what you wanted with this three-man rotation, but it does hand another kill over to Armel. Seems as though Aurora, they don't really have much of a choice but to accept that kill. They won't be finding anything else.
Is under attack. Radiant's middle tower
sure
is under attack.
CML doesn't mind bleeding out like that. Better him than anyone else being bursted down. However, that is, again, a little bit concerning that Aurora are the ones dictating. They've got good forward wards again between the tier 1, tier 2 bot, spotting out Krish. They are still bumping up for this fight, though.
They are. CML move forward, and then Armel though right onto Krish, but he's been stunned up. He could be in a bit of danger. Still Krish trying to walk away as Armel trying to finish the job off, but can't quite do it. Needs to back his way out down the TA. CML may drop and does. And still they are trying to chip away at Armel's Tino now. Well, never mind, Tino has been left behind. Tino will die. Armel will survive. It's a 2-for-1 trade in the favor of Aurora once again. It seems that they might even stick around for the bottom tier 1 tower while they're at it.
They mitigate their losses on the side of Execration after what looks to be a very, very rough fight to start off with. They did manage to force out the RP from Jabs as well, and they do find that kill onto the Magnus. Not an insignificant kill in terms of net worth bleeding onto Execration as well. But the map is shrinking. They have that blink ready on Shanks, so they've got one way to get instant control out, but they're stuck in a really awkward spot.
Chrono available, and he'll pop it immediately. Finding two. They've taken down Shanks, the easier target, but they know they've got Krish as well. Krish, he'll glape me them up, trying his best to get away, but there's just no chance. He's down. That's the big pickoff you wanted last team fight. Savage will eventually have it. Execration, it's just getting worse and worse as time goes on.
Middle tower is under attack.
It's not lining up. They need to be able to jump in, get this initiation with either Bob or Shanks now, and just look for that burst play. But look at Aurora. They're not letting go of this position, taking control of that triangle. Bob, CML, I don't think they can fight into this.
Bob's going to try with the Dream Call out. Shanks, he will at least land a stun out onto Ollie, so it seems as though the Pugner might die, and he'll find one. Problem is, Bob's going to die as well. Armel just takes him out on the puck. That's not the trade you were looking for now. I mean, if you're Aurora, you might think about going high ground and get into that triangle, but they'll leave him be for now. They'll accept the good trade and they'll just come back another day.
I mean, there's no pressure on Aurora to play a fast game. And they've got this late game scaling. They've got the Chrono, they've got the RP. And they've got these tools to carry them through into a longer, prolonged match as well. It's Execration that has to play tempo. Like, once this finger's back up on Shanks, they definitely need to hunt for that kill with the Laguna on Krish as well. There has to be activity coming out from Exa. They cannot allow Aurora to be the ones constantly in control of every single engagement. And that's where things are going southbound. Again, the information game from Aurora has been enabling them to dodge out as well. And although this smoke won't be spotted out at the very least, but They already know something's up. Execration, their map is dark. They've only got the 2 defensive wards on the triangle. Nothing else. Nothing forward to try to catch someone out. Even... Oh, Scam does pick up Savage now.
This nice tier 2 tower, but can get the big jump they're looking for. Savage will just melt.
Under attack.
Miss Savage gonna head up north to the next camp. And sadly, Execration, they have guessed incorrectly. Still, they have time if they want to try and head up north and try to find this void. The Savage now gonna look for the TP away, and it's perfect timing. He's out. His team wants to go for Roshan. Of all things, it's just Roshan starts and Savage just joins his team. He had no idea they were right around the corner.
Yeah. But again, they get a good sense. This tier 2, this ward between the tier 1, tier 2 down bot just tells them no one's coming in to try to check these lanes. No one's showing up, so they know something's happening in a rotation down bot. Aegis will go the way of Aurora with no contest. Desolator on Armel leads to that very quick timing. And the side of Aurora, yeah, they've got everything ready and waiting to go. RP's still ready, Chrono's still ready. Execration, every single second that goes by without the burst play just feels atrocious for this team. As they're playing on a heavy deficit, high ground, the siege doesn't take too long with the output of Armel. 2 lives on the TA is also not an easy thing to deal with. But Aurora will play it a little bit safer. Not looking to fully clump up for that tower fight.
Yeah, they'll play conservatively here, just take over the jungle instead. Plenty of time available on the Aegis here for Armel to play with. I mean, they have hit their timings very effectively, though. Like, perhaps the Void isn't quite ready to be the big carry you're looking for, but you don't really need it either. Like, Armel's at a stage where he can just be the carry for your team. The Savage, he can just be the utility. Just drop a Chrono, tank some damage, be useful that way. Let Armel do all the damage necessary for the team. They will move on to that top tier 2 tower. Seems like there'll be no defense from Execration. They're just going to let this one go for free.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, they understand. They don't really have control of the area. They don't have vision forward up top. It's hard to contest that movement. And they still need more items. Like, Krish needs a BKB to be able to stand up front. You've got the Sanj coming out for Bob to complete the highest Sanj for a little bit more stat resist as well when he jumps in. It is rough going. At least they find probably the best shard to pick up here onto Shanks on the line. So you get the freebie bonus on the mana drain, but they have to stop this high ground.
But they do. Armel, it would just keep going. I mean, you've even got an Arcane Rune available for Armel, so Master Refractions. 12-second cooldown for him at the moment, so he can just keep going at it. There's not really much in the way of stopping it. He can do this for free for quite a while. Execration now going to move Tino in. Let's spike out. They need to lock down the TA, but the Chrono has been committed. Got Bob with that one. Shanks will drop first, but Bob will closely follow. And Tino, he's not going to be too far off either. The RP's perfect. Jabs will find the last 3 of them. Krish is the last piece of the puzzle, and he is as good as God. Aurora just completely wiping the floor with Execration. Sadly, they can only find 1 lane of barracks. There are still 2 T2 towers standing, but I don't think they're going to last very long.
No, there's even an Amplify damage rune ready and waiting to be picked up to speed up the siege onto the high ground. Execration, or high ground hold, is not particularly amazing. They did have to expend the 2 big ultimates there for Aurora, so that could lead to maybe a more conservative movement just for the tier 2s. But the game is certainly in their control. 23-7, 13k up for Aurora. And Execration, it just feels like they have no bite. Like there's no clear game plan in how to take these engagements. Like, what, do you just go in with Dream Coil and hope for the best? Do you have enough follow-up coming in through from Tino? It doesn't quite feel like it. Especially with the BKBs already being up and running on Aurora.
Smoky from Execration, but it almost feels like they already know. They'll try onto Armel. Armel still has the Aegis up, and he just blows up Shanks. Where's the damage? Where's the control? There's not even 1 life gone yet. Execration have lost 2. Earthspike out catching a couple more, and now that just the cleanup is out. Double kill for Armel. Maybe a triple, and it will be. GG is called. This is what I'm saying,
Oh,
John.
boy.
You give Armel a hero like TA, he'll just finish the game in 20 minutes.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That he will, and that he does in this case. Execration. Nothing happened for them at all in this game.